talking boy, closet woman, and a 100-year-old wish. These are the 10 creepiest kids drawings ever. Number 10, the talking boy. Okay, you gotta admit, kids' art isn't exactly artistic. Unless you're some art prodigy, they're always just stick figures in weird colors drawn together. But this one here somehow manages to make even stick figures look like the cover of a horror film. Let's start with this, the picture from a kid named Julian. At first sight, it looks like a happy family. It's a boy holding hands with his parents. That's beautiful, right? But hold on, check out this creepy figure at the back, the talking boy. Hold on, who is the talking boy and why is he in this lovely family drawing? Is the boy an imaginary friend? Why is he called the talking boy? Oh, I've got just so many questions only Julian can answer. Number 9, Black Spider Woman. Take a close look at this. This kid either has a great imagination or needs to get out of the house really quickly. This drawing takes creepy to a whole new level. I mean, look at it, there's so much wrong with it, I don't even know where to start. I'm kinda scared, to be honest. Let's start with the sad little girl and her angry dad. Why do you think her dad's mad? I think she did something probably wrong and got yelled at a little. And then there's the title of this drawing, Why Can't Daddy See Her? That's probably because she's behind him. Our parents can sometimes know what we're doing without seeing us, but it doesn't mean that they have eyes behind their heads. The thing in question looks like a cross between a black spider woman and a human being. Dude, that just makes my skin crawl. Imagine being a dad and getting this drawing from your kid's teacher. I would be so horrified. Number 8, Graham's Plan. The next drawing makes me want to meet this kid. His imagination is through the roof. Well, that's one way to look at it. He could also have grown into a really weird teenager. Back in 2012, a kid named Graham was asked what he'll be doing when he's 100 years old. If I'm still alive at 100, I definitely want to live in a small, perfect town close to a beautiful beach and sip on a juice box all day. What would you be doing when you're that old? Well, Graham had a much different answer from whatever ideas you have. This kid just couldn't answer the question without a really creepy drawing of his plans. Guess what? Graham plans to be a zombie at 100. His big plan is to break out of his tomb. This is probably why you shouldn't let kids watch horror movies. He drew a couple of headstones with a stick figure coming out of the darkest one. I wonder if all that red around him is supposed to be blood. His parents were probably worried after seeing this one. If you think those were creepy, now we're gonna take a look at best friends, the ceiling thing, and the figure with no eyes. Number 7, best friends. Do you have a best friend? What are they like? It's always nice to have a best friend who's funny, or one who's really smart. Doing nice stuff for your best friend is pretty cool, right? One nice thing you could do is draw them a picture. But when drawing a picture of them, you have to be sure you don't accidentally make them look really creepy, just like this drawing. With this one, I'm not sure if it was actually an accidental weird drawing. This cute little blonde girl believes that she's best friends with whatever that is. The drawing looks like a black bug with really large eyes. That's for sure the scariest best friend I've ever seen. Her best friend looks like an ant. Just look at those eyes. Her best friend may be a demon from another realm if it's actually real. If he is from this planet, then this kid shouldn't be left alone for too long because who knows when he might just come knocking. Number 6, the ceiling thing. You know how we all see monsters in the room when it's dark? Most times it's probably just shadows playing tricks on you. But sometimes, just sometimes, kids do really creepy stuff. The next drawing is way scarier than anything you might have seen in your room. According to this kid, he woke up in the middle of the night and saw something creepy on the ceiling. And when he tried to draw it on a piece of paper, we're not sure how to feel about it. First, there's a really scary face in the middle of the drawing that's looking down at the kid. And then there are a few other faces and figures floating around. Then there are the meaningless scribbles scattered around the drawing. They look like someone just wrote a bunch of letters. It even looks like a kid learning to write. What do you think this kid was trying to write? Maybe it's what the creepy woman on the ceiling said to the kid. Could have been a summoning spell even. Man, that sounds like something straight out of a horror movie. Number 5, bleeding eyes. Most of the drawings we've seen so far haven't been the most artistic drawings. Creepy for sure, but not so great. But now that's about to change. This drawing is so good it's hard to believe a kid drew it. This kid's work could win art contests easily. It's not a regular stick figure, and under a closer look, it gets really creepy. Probably even creepier than anything else we've seen in this video. First and foremost, the girl in the drawing looks like she belongs on a poster for a horror movie. Her head is crooked and it makes it feel like she's staring at you, but she doesn't even have eyes. The empty sockets have either blood or tears coming out of them. I hope I never see this in real life. But guess what? It's not the only leaky part of her. Her mouth's leaking too. And I don't know about you, but that's even scarier. Is it blood? Was she drinking the blood? Is she bleeding from her mouth? This drawing has so many scary meanings that could give you nightmares. Even her hair makes her look a little creepy because how thin it is. What do you think about this one? Number 4, sky eyes. That's creepy. And then there's this drawing. If scary stuff gives you nightmares, then you might want to prepare yourself for this one. The kid that made it needs to be asked some serious questions. Would you watch another horror movie after this one? I don't think so. There's so many things happening in this drawing, and I just want to stop looking at it already. Let's start with the tree. This tree looks like it has seen the worst winter in history. There are spiders all over it, but the creepy part is the person hanging from the tree. I'm not even sure we can call that a person. It looks like some sort of creature with long, spindly fingers or claws. I wouldn't want that thing chasing me in the dark. This child is a really talented artist because look at that eye. Is that supposed to be a moon? That's cool, but makes it even creepier. Nobody wants to see a giant eye plus a tree and a hanging creature in reality. When the kid was asked, the kid said, "I thought it was dead, but it keeps laughing." Yeah, I think I can leave my lights on every night. Starting out, things get serious. It's now time to look at the red eye, a drawing of dead parents and a scary imaginary friend. Number 3, the red eye. Kids say a bunch of stuff that nobody understands. What's the creepiest thing you've seen or heard as a kid? Well, it turns out one kid thinks he was being watched very closely. Not by the CIA or FBI, but an enormous black eye in the closet. The drawing is a pretty ordinary one at first glance, but a better look reveals this really strange eye. It's red and has the tiniest black pupil. It looks like something that should belong to an anime character. Does anyone watch anime? Doesn't this look like your favorite anime character? Okay, back to the creepy drawing. I wonder if that's red eyeliner on it, but it does have some thin eyelashes. The creepiest part, the note at the bottom. I would faint if I saw that watching me for real. The kids say they saw this eye staring out of their closet. What would you do if you saw it? I make sure my parents buy a whole new house. Number 2, the dead parents. This is another one of those drawings that makes you unsure of how to feel. There's so much going on that it makes it really, really creepy. First of all, I asked my parents to stop screaming even though they were already dead. What? Which kid wrote this? I do not want to meet the kid that made this drawing. There are 2 dead people on the floor. I think those are the parents. They're still both bleeding out, and while the dad still has a knife stuck in him, someone's holding a bloody knife. Is that a brother? Is that the kid that made the drawing? I got so many questions. It looks like they're all in the living room. I wonder who the other girl is. What do you think the parents did to get slaughtered in this drawing? I bet their parents were really scared when they saw this. I mean, this is definitely scarier than anything I've ever seen. Now on to the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1, Lisa. There are so many weird kids in the world, and this one's the weirdest one of them all. These drawings will make you shiver and make you avoid people with imaginary friends. This kid has an imaginary friend named Lisa who looks like a ghost. She doesn't look friendly at all. Her shirt is stained with blood, and there's blood on her hands too. From the looks of things, it's probably the ghost of a murderer. This little girl's drawings show us how she took Lisa to school for show and tell. Of course, no one could see Lisa, so the teacher says there aren't any friends around. This causes the little kid to get sad, and suddenly the teacher doesn't come to school. Does that sound suspicious to you? Well, next time her dad makes her sad, who knows if he wouldn't be coming home either. This kid's imaginary friend, who she thinks is very real, told her that her teacher and dad won't be coming back. The moral of the story is, be nice to kids who have imaginary friends. You'll never know which one could come after you. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.